Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman, and as you can see, broadcasting from my garden level at the Holman House. And we're going to go across town right now, and we're going to meet up with the CEO of Cinnaire and an old friend, Mark McDaniel. Mark, you know, you guys, in your core, in your soul, Cinnaire has good. I mean, what you do as a nonprofit is really benevolent to begin with. But you guys do a lot more beyond that. And I want to talk about some of those things. So give us a few examples, and then we're going to talk about how that manifests itself within your corporation.
Sure. Well, you know, one of the first things that we're actually kicking off this month, like a lot of organizations, is recognizing Black History Month. We've been dedicated the whole issue around diversity and equity inclusion ever since we formed the company 28 years ago. And this is a special month to recognize. A lot of companies do it, but we don't want to do it so, you know, it's like the corporate thing. We check the box, we recognize the month, and then we all move on. We're going to have this as a kickoff for the entire rest of the year. We're going to do a whole series every month on African American icons that people don't know. People like Sadie Alexander, who was one of the top recognized economists back at the turn of the century. I mean, there are people out there that were absolutely first in their profession as a African American, but icons in industry and academics and nursing and medical fields, and that we want to take this time to recognize them through the entire rest of the year. This kind of manifests itself with the staff on why one of the things they enjoy working here is that we do a lot around focusing on community, trying to focus on things that people tend to ignore or are uninformed about. And that's one of the things that we have promoted, which we talked about on our last interview about Cinnaire Cares, which is a employee-generated giving program that the employees are kind of contributing a certain percentage of their paycheck every month to go into this fund, and then they decide on what charitable causes that they want to support that are in our footprint. Our organization then matches that dollar for dollar for whatever the employees have raised. It's employee driven. Something that was important too is to have people understand what it's like to volunteer in their community. And so we've done a number of things where people get exposed to that, and they have become champions in their own communities, support things like, for me personally, it's Haven House in East Lansing, which is a homeless shelter operation that takes in entire families, which is unheard of. Usually if you're homeless as a family, your kids get separated, your father gets separated, and the mother gets separated. It's a horrible thing. It's a trauma for those children for the rest of their lives to be separated, let alone be homeless, but be separated. So it's something for me. My wife, Mary, used to be on their board for a number of years, and I got hooked on it. So this coming up in a few weeks is our Pancake Palooza, where typically we've been able to raise about $50,000 a year on this. And it just started out as this little idea we had, and it's turned into their major fundraiser. But it's fun. Every $1,000 we raise supports a family that is homeless, that gets them stable, but also in permanent housing as part of what Haven House does.
So you're saying benevolence can also taste good?
Yeah. You know, you come in and when we always used to hold it at Applebee's. But what we're doing this year is we bought packages for people who have bought tickets, you know, the virtual tickets. Yes. We're sending them pancake mix and syrup and that kind of thing, so they make it in their house while they're watching us on the computer.
BYOP.
That's it. Yeah.
Got it. Well, when you're talking about how it manifests itself in your workforce, my thought is always that it's not just a matter of feel good. It's a source of pride. I work at Cinnaire and we do a lot of great work, right?
Yeah, and our employees are so proud of the fact that they work somewhere that promotes this, and it's deep rooted in our culture. They're very proud to be able to say that they work here because of this kind of culture that we've created, where walking the talk. A lot of people talk, but we're trying everything we can to walk it.
Well, you've done great things and to keep that culture with the growth that you guys have had over the years can be very difficult, but congratulations on that and everything else that you do. Mark McDaniel, CEO of Cinnaire, thanks for joining us today, and keep up the good work. The community needs you.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, Chris Holman here, and you're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. We'll be back with more.